Hey everyone, welcome to the tavern. This is a Dapper Bard kind of discussion about Bill and Ted Face the Music. This is the third in the Bill and Ted series, a movie I actually was not looking forward to. But before I explore my feelings on the movie itself and why I felt the way I did, let's talk a little bit about my relationship with this franchise. I was introduced to this movie by the people who would eventually become my stepdad and stepbrother. I had no idea what it was, and they played it for me, and I loved it. We actually went to the Circle K and grabbed snacks beforehand because they knew of the Circle K sequence, and thought it would be fun to go grab snacks from Circle K before showing me this movie while eating our Circle K snacks. You know, and you see Bill and Ted eating their Circle K snacks, and it's just kind of like, oh, that was really clever of them. Really did appreciate it, and it became a really good bonding moment for me to get used to two people who would end up being family. I remember watching some of the animated series, but really not that much of it. I think one or two episodes. It was on at like a weird time, and I remember the animation just being really wonky and odd and not really enjoying it that much. However, when Bogus Journey came out, I remember going to the theater with my older brother and my dad, because they would have been those positions at that time, and seeing it with them. And it was a huge moment. It was a great bonding moment for the three of us. I remember really liking the movie and having an enjoyable experience in the theaters. Death was probably my favorite character, and I really liked some of the clever stuff they did with Hell. And while the ending felt a little rushed and weird, I did still generally enjoy it. I remember when I got a little bit older and I was in high school or something like that, I ended up watching it again and not liking it as much, thinking it was kind of a letdown from the original. And then seeing it again in college and liking it a little bit more and realizing that the creativity and different direction is exactly what the movie needed. I still want to go back and watch Bogus Journey again, but due to circumstances, I ended up watching Face the Music before rewatching Bogus Journey. Things like that happen. Life gets kind of crazy. It was more of a spur of the moment decision to watch it instead of being a planned out moment. Going into the movie, I had a lot of reservations. My first was, of course, I don't know if I want to see Bill and Ted as old guys. As great as Alex Winter has become as a director and producer, as great as Keanu Reeves has become in his acting, I don't know if I want to see old versions of Bill and Ted. I don't like seeing old versions of my heroes. I don't like old Indiana Jones. I don't like old John McClane. And I definitely don't like seeing old Terminator. I just don't want to see my heroes at that age. So seeing Bill and Ted in their 50s just sounds stomach turning to me. In addition to that, they were both going to have daughters. And with the way Hollywood has been going lately, I had a lot of worries that it was going to be the dads are dumb and the daughters solve everything. And look at that, the girls win and the guys are all dumb and ineffectual. Thankfully, it is not that. Actually, I find it to be a really entertaining movie. And for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I will not be spoiling any major plot points, because this is more of a discussion and a review and not a plot synopsis. The movie opens up with some narration from Bill and Ted's daughters, Thea and Billy. They talk about their fathers. They give a brief synopsis of previous events and discuss how things have gone on since the events of Bogus Journey, how their career went, and how the pressure of making the song that'll save the world, kind of a big, huge, heavy boulder for them to carry, and they never really achieved it. You then cut to Bill and Ted doing a weird experimental song at a wedding, and honestly, I kind of dug the song. I like the weirdness, but there's a lot of weird music I actually do like. I love experimental stuff, so that was playing to me. I'm sure not everyone's going to enjoy that song. The crowd in the scene obviously does not enjoy the song. And as the movie progresses, essentially, the future is getting frustrated with Bill and Ted not having completed their goals and tell them, no, you seriously have to do it, because at this specific time, if you don't, history unravels. And the movie essentially becomes a couple different paths that we follow. We follow Bill and Ted as they're trying to figure out how to write the song, and we follow their daughters as they go collecting people from time to try to make the best band that's ever existed. And we have a subplot that never really gets followed up on about the princesses trying to figure out whether or not they should stick with their husbands. So we have a couple different things going on here, but the princesses honestly don't get followed up on. Interestingly enough, they're also replaced again. So 3 movies, they don't feature the same actresses as the princesses in any of them. Overall, the actors who played the historical figures were pretty good. I'm not going to spoil who they get, but I liked most of them. There's some pretty fun little moments of the time travel. We do have the return of Death because he was kind of a major player at the end of part 2, so of course he'd show up in this one. Performed by the same actor, by the way, which is really great. He does the same weird accent. Due to all the makeup required for the costume, you don't actually see that the actor is aged because, well, he's Death, and he shouldn't age because he's Death. It comes together in a really good ending where everyone kind of puts pieces together into this puzzle to solve the song that'll save the world. Spoilers, the world doesn't end. That's just your one big spoiler. Overall, I really did like the ending of the movie, but I do have some major issues with the movie as a whole. First off, it feels really rushed at parts. Like the Bill and Ted parts feel fine, the parts with their daughters feel fine, but there's definitely some segments that feel either rushed, especially the ending feels like they just kind of solve things really quick instead of it, having a little more time to breathe. The princesses, like I said, don't even really follow their story. You just kind of see them in the background here and there. So, why even give them a subplot to just have them be in the background? There's also an annoying robot character who gets introduced, and I can't stand that character, and I didn't find him funny. I didn't get the point of him. I understood the point of him for what he was doing in the beginning parts of the story. I don't get why they kept him around because he wasn't a really likable or interesting character, and he adds nothing to the ending at all. He's pretty useless. Some of the effects don't look great, or they just weren't completed properly. It's hard to say, and I'm not sure if that was just due to the low budget of the movie, or if recent times have led to them having to rush aspects of the finalization of the special effects. It doesn't take you out of the movie, it's just a kind of a noticeable flaw. All those flaws aside, there's many things I did like. Our leads feel very much in place as their characters. Keanu Reeves feels a little off, like he's doing an impression of himself, but it's not so bad that it'll take you out of the movie. And the daughters are great. I wasn't really familiar with these actresses. I have seen things they're in, I just don't know them as names. But I like that. They weren't, known, recognized people who take you out of the movie. Unlike Kristen Schaal, who I love, but every time she's in a movie, all I can think of is her voice work, and it kind of takes me out of live action stuff she does, because I keep thinking of her other characters. Not that that's a flaw of this movie, she's great. It's more the point that it feels kind of odd every time I see her in a live action thing, even though she was great in What We Do in the Shadows. Overall, the casting was really well done. The story has its ups and downs. It feels like it kind of takes a while to start up, and then it goes a little too fast for its own good. I really think this movie would have been helped by adding an extra 15 minutes. Maybe there's some cut footage that'll eventually make it in some sort of extended edition. There's definitely a lot of fun, and it's nice seeing Bill and Ted is still very optimistic. They have their moments of doubt here and there, but seeing them as these optimistic, we can do it, we can save the world, we'll figure this out, we've done crazy stuff before, we can get through this, but still being human enough just to have their moments of doubt, to have their issues with other characters, their issues with themselves, their life choices, etc., works really well. The fact that the daughters didn't overshadow their fathers, or the fathers overshadowing their daughters, but instead being more like a team, or dare I say it, a family, is really, really great. In fact, there's a lot of really great moments in this movie. There's a handful of cameos, and frankly, it was an enjoyable watch. I wouldn't say I like this one more than Bogus Journey or Excellent Adventure, but I was going in going, oh man, I'm so afraid this is going to be garbage. And it turned out to actually be a really enjoyable movie. I do wish it, like I said, it was longer, that they fixed some of the special effects and things like that. But otherwise, it was really fun, and I'm glad. The writers of the first two movies also wrote this movie, and Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves had their own input. So what you get here is this really cool combination of ideas that comes together in a very enjoyable package. One of the things I feel like I missed out on this experience was not watching it with my stepdad and stepbrother. It'd be nice if we weren't in this current era, because if we weren't, I know that the three of us would have gone to the theaters to see it. We probably would have brought some significant others, and it would have been nice and fun, and again, a great bonding moment. But times are what they are, and my brother has his own family to take care of. It's unfortunate things didn't work out for that. I am glad I watched it, and I'm glad that the movie is so much better than I was expecting it to be, considering there's a lot of Bill and Ted ancillary material that isn't that great. There was a comic series that was rather banal, a cartoon series that was rather banal, a live action series that I heard made it on air, though I never remember it even existing. But I was pretty young at the time, so who knows? And don't even get started on that video game. So to see that all three movies are all enjoyable in their own ways, that you can sit down and watch the trilogy and enjoy yourself and know that the chosen ones did help save the world, that's great. That's what you want out of a trilogy. You want characters you like going on interesting adventures and saving the day at the end, giving you the idea that things can be better, that even in bad times, things can be better. We can get there. And I like the fact that we have a positive message at the end of the movie. It just feels like we should have had a little bit more there at the ending. Give it some time to breathe, give it a little bit of an aftermath storyline, because it just kind of, and that's it. Story's over. And it's like, wait, what? So, other than some minor flaws that are easily overlooked, and let's face it, Bogus Journey and Excellent Adventure both have flaws as well, but most of them can be overlooked for the type of movie it is. It's a comedy adventure, and that's what this one was, a comedy adventure. I got some good laughs, there's some fun moments, and overall, I highly recommend the movie. I hope this has informed your watching decision, and if you have any movies you think I should check out, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, if you want to follow me on any other form of social media, that information is in the description. You can click right in. We are always looking for new followers. And if you have any suggestions for any future videos, please let me know. And until next time, I'll see you at the tavern.